Let's talk about the self-assembly of KidKraft swing sets. We'll go over some tips, some tricks, and best practices that I learned during my 14-hour assembly. So you've done it. You finally bought the swing set your kids have been nagging you for. If you haven't picked one up yet, check your local wholesale club. You'll be sure to find a deal. We got ours for a little over $1,000 at Costco. They offered a delivery and assembly option, but we decided to save the money and put it together ourselves. For us, we kind of just opened up all the boxes in the backyard just to see what we had. It probably would have been smart to go through the instruction manual and make sure we had all the parts, but we just went for it. As I'm sure you can imagine, there's a lot of hardware to put this thing together. Luckily, they put everything into 4 boxes that they had labeled A, B, C, and D. In each box, there was a piece of paper with a description and a picture of each piece of hardware. It kept everything very organized and even had like a plastic little cup for you to put each one in. Looking at the instruction manual, it looked kind of daunting. It was pretty big. It said it was going to take us 17.5 hours to assemble. For the first day, we had 3 of us putting this together for about 3 hours or so. Unfortunately, it was raining the entire time, which really put a damper on things. Luckily, day 2, we had much better weather. So all the footage you're seeing here was where we left off after day 1. It looks like we have a pretty solid structure together, but we weren't even halfway through the instruction manual. We purchased the KidKraft Boulder Bluff 2-in-1 playset, and a common theme that you see with these KidKraft swing sets is some sort of bridge across or a rock wall to climb up. To put each of these pieces together, they gave you measurements to put between each board. I can't stress it enough how much easier it was to just take that measurement, cut tiny little blocks to put between each board. It made putting these sections together so much easier. One of the more tedious aspects of the job was putting the floorboards down. You need to leave enough space so that the wood can expand and contract. There's no specific measurements for this, so our best piece of advice is to just get a bunch of nails. You can install the first ones and use the nails to provide the proper spacing between boards. Once you're done, just easily pull the nails up and you're good to go. One cool feature for our swing set specifically is we had the ability to either mount the swing set to the side of the playhouse or make it its own standalone structure. We decided to mount it to the side of the playhouse to give it that all-in-one look. One thing they could have done to make the self-assembly easier was to put the pieces for each step in the appropriate boxes. There were 5 total boxes, but the pieces were all over the place. You could be in box 1 and box 4 for the same step. Another kind of frustrating part was the stamps on each piece of wood. If it was a light piece of wood, it had a dark stamp. If it was a dark piece of wood, it had a light stamp. Others were really smudged or just hard to read. I found myself using the diagram trying to figure out what piece I had. Another common thing you see with these KidKraft swing sets is a spiral slide. This was a pain in the ass to put together. We had 3 of us putting this together, and if it was just 2 of us, it would have been such a headache. Ugh, I still think about that slide. All in all, it ended up taking us 14 hours to assemble it. We had 3 people most of the time, and you could really tell the difference when we were operating with 3 or 2 people. If you can get 4 or more people to help you, absolutely take the help. It'll make it go by much faster. We had 1 person reading the instruction manual and getting the parts for the next step. At the same time, 2 people were putting together the piece from the last step. Now, if I was presented with the opportunity to either do this again or just pay someone else to do it, I'm probably just going to pay someone else to do it and spend the weekend with my kids. However, if you're the kind of person that likes these kind of projects and putting things together, you're probably going to enjoy yourself. It was very rewarding at the end knowing that we put this together and seeing how much fun my kids were having. If this video helped you assemble your KidKraft swing set, do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like us to do a review or see how it's been holding up 6 months after use, let us know in the comments. We'll see you again soon.